Welcome to Sustainable Packaging with Cory Connors. Today's guests are the founders of DIP. I have Kate and Jonathan Assaraf. How are you guys?
Great.
We're great, thanks.
I'm a huge fan of your products. I'm a huge fan of what you're doing as far as a new concept of products, and I can't wait to tell everyone about them. But let's start with your backgrounds. How did you get to this point in your careers?
I'll let Jonathan start because he's been in the beauty industry longer.
Yeah, I've been an industrial designer, so my background has been in beauty packaging for 15 years now. And then we just kind of wanted to do it for ourselves.
Yeah, but
Well,
he's being very humble. He designed Kim Kardashian's fragrance.
I've heard of her. Yeah.
He's worked on household brands that you just hear in beauty all the time, mostly behind the scenes as an industrial designer. Sorry, he's eaten too much humble pie this morning.
Yeah.
But he's worked on really cool, huge global campaigns.
Yeah, I've mostly been on the product side, not necessarily the branding side of it. So this is kind of, I guess, a new endeavor, but super exciting. Just having an understanding of 3D certainly helps the whole experience.
I bet. Yeah, well, that's amazing. And industrial design to me is incredible. And I'm totally impressed with what you've done, not just with that, but with your new products here for DIP. And so, Kate, how about you? What's your background?
So my background, I first started in corporate events when I was pretty young, big events like for CNN or Turner Sports, or, all the just big, huge campaigns. And then I moved over into the beauty industry. I moved out to LA to work for a company called Skin Cosmetics, which does a lot of, at the time did a lot of like the QVC style of selling. And then I worked for a Kardashian brand after that. And then I moved into the toy industry. And then I came back to beauty actually. And that's kind of how I landed back into this.
You guys are like the Kardashians. Is that it?
You employ a lot.
Yeah, the Kardashians, as much, as much as people knock them, they're responsible for generating a lot of income and salaries for a lot of people that you don't even think of.
I agree. I think it's impressive what they've done with their careers, and good for them. People like what they're selling and they're buying it, obviously. So
Crazy.
Good for them. Yeah. Well, let's talk about DIP. How did you guys come up with this concept, first of all?
So back when I was pregnant with my first son, my older brother, who has 4 kids, handed me this book called Boys Adrift. And it was basically, I found out I was having a boy and a Middle Eastern. So my brother gave me this book on how to make a productive son, or like the things you should avoid to have a productive son, which is like a very silly kind of older brother gift to give me. But I did read it, and one of the factors that was just kind of a little piece of the book was how plastics affect hormones. They're endocrine disruptors, right? And all of a sudden, and it wasn't a big part of the story, but the author talked about there was runoff into the Potomac River that they found the male fish in the river started laying eggs. And
Wow.
And it blew my mind almost to a degree that I couldn't like breathe. It was just crazy to think, because when you're pregnant, they tell you to drink a lot of water. So what do? You drink bottled water. Like this was 2014. Right. Like it's just kind of normal.
Yeah.
And then you kind of do this own audit of your behaviors and how much. I lived in Manhattan at the time. How much takeout you get in hot containers, where the plastic kind of leaches into the food. And so I started immediately not caring so much about that book and the contents of it, but mostly about like the plastic. It just blew my mind. And then I found out then, which is, 8 years ago, that plastic wasn't being recycled either. So not only was it not getting a new life, it was just accumulating. So between the health effects of plastic and the accumulation, it just made my mind spin out of control. So I tried to reduce my plastic. And shampoo and conditioner bars were out there at the time, but they were not, I would say, to my standards, basically. And I think a lot of it has to do with, at the time, those bars were trying to capture a certain consumer that I just wasn't part of. I'm not, because I've been in the beauty business for a long time. I didn't necessarily want just an all natural product. I just wanted plastic free. So eventually, after several iterations, I've we've gotten to dip, and I've tested it on every hair type, and it works, and it's like beautiful. And I just, I don't know, I'm just super proud of it because I love it so much. And I've never had to use a bottle again.
That's amazing. What I bought some things and you gave me some things. Thank you again for that. But I want to talk about how it works and why it's more sustainable than the standard bottles of shampoo and conditioner that we've all been accustomed to for so long. I know that's a very basic question for you, but we need to explain it to everyone. Why is a concentrated bar, more sustainable than a full bottle of shampoo?
So the first one is it doesn't have any water weight, basically. So it's cheaper to ship. Just as far as carbon emissions, it's cheaper, more fit in a box than a bottle. So that's the carbons. Yeah, you get more space. It's why it's better to ship Jack Daniels than it is Absolute, right? Because it ships better. The other thing is that so this is what I used to use. I used to use this Oribe Gold Lust, which is beautiful. The packaging's beautiful, the product's beautiful, the fragrance is beautiful. Like I could cuddle this for I
memories.
Memories. It's like a relic in my house, but this kind of plastic is non-recyclable, and it's meant to be consumed quickly, right? It's meant to be consumed within 3 to 6 weeks. Most salon products that you buy at the salon are this one. What makes it more sustainable for dip anyway is that my one conditioner bar replaces 12 of these.
Wow.
For me, it changes depending on hair type. But for me, I was spending, $52 a month just to buy this stuff. And my savings with the conditioner bar, with the dip conditioner bar, which is, big 3-ounce bar, is over $500, which is nuts. That's
incredible. And I've got here one of the conditioner bars.
Yeah.
And it basically looks like a hockey puck to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or maybe a large skateboard wheel to the audience listening. We will put this on YouTube eventually, so they'll get to see it. But let's go over those numbers again. You said 10 bottles of shampoo or conditioner?
Conditioner, yeah.
Okay.
The conditioner bar lasts a long time.
Approximately for the size that you were showing, which looked like maybe 250 milliliter.
No, 200.
200. Okay. Yeah. So 200 milliliter. So 2,000 milliliters of conditioner replaced by one hockey puck, which is incredible. Like,
it's crazy.
It smells amazing. I haven't tried it yet. I've been waiting for this episode to go over all this stuff. And then, I'll make TikToks and stuff. It'll be really fun. But wow, that's an amazing change. And I could definitely see some advertisements about with 10 bottles next to it versus one bar as a comparison for people to really get the concept of, hey, this is going to save you a fortune.
Yeah. Well, it's strange because people have been so burned. The third reason actually it's sustainable is that it works.
Yeah.
So it's not adding to your graveyard of sustainable products that don't work. And a big reason for that is that I really looked at ingredients and tried to choose high performance ingredients that left your hair as silky and smooth in the way that I expected. And what happens a lot is with conditioner bars, especially, that's why I always talk about it's like my magnum opus conditioner bar. Right? Conditioner bars they get a really bad rap because a lot of the times the ingredient that they use in conditioner bars, it feels conditioned in the shower, but then when you step out, you don't have that same tactile, real silky feeling.
Yeah, we've tried a couple bars and they're pretty good, but you're right. We're excited to try your products because of the quality. So really looking forward to that.
I will say too, as a designer, it makes it so nice and relieving to actually design something that works and you trust, because face it, a lot of the times designers, you don't really have faith in the product, but you're still making it look good, right? You're trying to compete with all the other brands out there. And though I am super proud of the identity work that we did for Dip, I can really stand up for its integrity of what's inside.
That's a good feeling. I agree. And that was my next question. Let's talk about these boxes. So very small, chipboard boxes. It looks like about 20-point or 24-point material. C1S, awesome. Totally recyclable, easy to recycle, curbside. And then just a piece of paper wrapping the product exactly. I mean, is that all it is?
Wrapper inside.
I love this little symbol on the bottom that just says paper recycle. You know,
Yeah, that's
boom.
so funny, like tongue-in-cheek thing too, is, you know, there's so many claims and icons and things. The one that we always laugh at is like the leaping bunny. You know, it's like, who's still like testing on animals? Like, it's such like an old thing. Like, these ingredients are tried and true. But yeah, it's so simple. I think there's something like easy for people to mentally digest when it is just like a simple paper with water-based inks, water-based coatings, so no oils or any of that stuff. It just feels good.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things about the packaging is just this little hole we cut in the top, which allows people to smell the bar before mangling the packaging in soap.
I love that. So that's an access hole for smelling.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, because how many times have you gone to a beauty aisle and, you know, the box looks like that because it's
All the
just
time.
somebody's, and people won't buy that because they feel like it's been touched, right?
Especially in the past 2 years, people are extra sensitive about something that's been touched by someone else. Yeah.
Well, we should put like a smell-o-vision or something like that, right? You know, like smell here. I'm not a designer, don't listen to me.
And that's for the user interface, all these apps that are coming out, and they got to put the smell feature on Digital World.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like Ready Player One. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
So cool. So cool. Anyways, well, I want to talk about the bar holders, because a lot of complaints about the shampoo bars and conditioner bars are the experience in the shower or the bathtub. But I think you guys have solved that problem with these. And I don't know if you designed these, but just brilliant, simple, beautiful design. Who came up with that? Was that Jonathan, or was that a
Yeah, that was great, really testing. I was all about doing flat lays and certain ways to drain them. I mean, I have a graveyard of so many sketches and prototypes and stuff. And although aesthetically I like some of the ones that came out more, we just found something that works. I mean, it was based off of some other stock ones that were made out of plastic, and we just kind of challenged our, you know, our connections to make it in stainless steel and make it so you can wash it, because that was a problem we're starting to find with all shower things that hold soap just get like gross film on it, you know, and sudsy. So there has to be an opportunity to clean it and still work. So a lot of these earlier designs, although they looked cool, they didn't pass the wash test.
Yeah.
right?
And a big thing is that, so if you are in a shower that has a lot of people using it, so say you're a family with 2 kids and everyone's using the bars, that bar never gets a chance to dry properly because the shower is getting used so often. Or if you live in a humid climate, or if you, I mean, there's so many things, or if you are one of those people that never turns the vent on when you shower and your shower just sits, your bathroom just sits in moisture. So the shampoo bar especially, is a softer formula. And if you leave it on a wire rack, or if you leave it on, you know, any kind of coaster with like holes on it, eventually it'll sink into the coaster, and it's just like an unhappy experience, especially since our bars are pricey. And I don't want someone to leave disappointed, you know? And there is that thing that happens at the end of a bar where at the very end, the shampoo bar is, after lots of use, like it gets softer. So at the very end, you can like fold it off of this. You can take it, fold it, and crush it into like a nice, it's not nice. It's the end of life of the bar.
Sure.
But with a new one, you could kind of mash them together, and then there you go.
Yeah. So some people have written that they mash.
That's good advice. Yeah.
Yeah. So some people mash it onto the next bar. Well, I'm finishing up a bar right now, and I just like to fold it and kind of crush it back together. But you can also, we have on our website, when you get to the end of your bar, you can actually just heat it on like a very low heat and re-pour it into something small. If you have a small silicone baking dish, it's an easily meltable product that you can reshape to your liking, which makes me happy.
I love that. Could you even combine flavors or scents. I shouldn't say flavors, but
If you'd like that, we'd love to see if someone gets creative and cooks up something completely different and new.
Yeah. I was really impressed with your flavor profiles or scent profiles or whatever you call them. Mimosa and sandalwood, co-starring orange, cucumber, and vanilla. This sounds like something I want for breakfast. This is amazing. Tangerine and honeydew, co-starring fresh citrus, mimosa, and cedarwood. Wow, beautiful. Where did you guys come up with all these combinations?
So I'll take it back to my inspiration. So Oribe, this brand that I love, Tom Ford designed the fragrances for this. And I knew that if I needed to, kind of summon people from the luxury hair care market, that people want like a symphony of fragrance. There's something to be said about when you hug someone and you can smell their hair, or maybe it's just a creep move on my part. I don't know.
It's research.
Yeah, research. Yeah. I've just been hugging people extra lately. But I think people deserve and want a symphony of fragrance. And fragrance is one of those hot topics that is tricky, right? Like right now, fragrance gets a really bad rap, and it's because of the phthalates in traditional fragrance. And we looked to Credo as the people, or the company that's setting the gold standard for what they'll allow in their doors. And although we're not in Credo, I love what they're doing as far as being like the gatekeepers of what is considered clean and unclean. And so we actually, we went to Robertet, the big fragrance house, and I explained to them what I was trying to do. And they built them to the fragrances to Credo standards, which helps me sleep at night, knowing that I'm not putting, phthalates out to people in the shower that they're just like kind of ingesting.
Right.
And I've actually had customers that have like really horrible reactions to fragrance, say that they tried our bars kind of like, a little nervous about it, and that they didn't get like the migraines that they typically get from the fragrance, and they didn't get, kind of like all of that kind of like sniffly nose. So they didn't get that from our fragrances. So that has made me really happy. But that's how we came about choosing them and making a big profile of really exciting fragrances, that some were unisex, some were more girly, some were more towards males. And like I think the other thing that we did that is cool is I sat and watched how people interact with shampoo and conditioner in store. And I saw that people generally open the bottle and smell it before reading it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're buying with your nose first, right?
So I used what I saw, like real human behavior of people smelling it before they even look at any of the words on the bottle, and was like, like, let's try and make it for all hair types and give people the freedom to choose how they want to smell, because I think that's how they shop.
Yeah, you're right. It's like, prove it. You can put whatever you want on the box, but prove it. Let me smell it. Right. So anything new, exciting coming out, or are you focusing on the shampoo and conditioner bars?
Shampoo and conditioner is like where my heart and soul is. Like I love them so much, but we do have some really exciting stuff coming out. One of them is some products just can't be done in bars. So what we're doing is I'm using dead stock plastic bottles that have been abandoned by other brands to bring some new stuff out there. So the first thing that we're launching, and we did a small run, is an enzyme spray. And this enzyme spray is formulated for hair. So if you are camping, or if you're at a music festival, or if you are in the hospital and you're unable to shower, you can spray this enzyme spray in your hair and kind of like just let it dry. It's like a wet, dry shampoo essentially. And enzymes will clean the oils out of your hair. So because I don't want people using shampoo bars in lakes, and they don't need to use shampoo bars. And the conditioner is meant for a leave-in. So like, I don't want wildlife being totally exposed to all of this stuff, right? Fish don't have hair. They don't need it. But like,
if they do, that's a problem, right?
Yeah, maybe they're in the Potomac, in that factory. But no, but seriously, like the idea that you can just spray your hair, especially if you're one of those people that goes to like Coachella, I don't know how
Yeah.
those people are showering, to be honest. But you can just, yeah, or Burning Man people, like you can just put
Right.
it in your hair, and that's something I'm like really excited to do. And we have a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek packaging move where we're calling it the Great Filled Dead Stock, and we have a Jerry Bear collar like going around the bottle that says like this bottle is not new, has not been produced for this brand.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
packaging that's like over 20 years old, just like sitting in
Yeah.
a warehouse, ready to go, just trash. Like it's so sad. It happens all the time. Like people buy in abundance
Mhm.
to scale, and then whatever happens, brands go out of business or whatever it might be, or a trend changes. Like the bottles aren't good looking by any means, but we're gonna try to polish it,
Right.
add kind of punk rock overlay.
I think that's cool. I think it's a cool counterculture move to what's typically done in beauty. And you know, we do a lot of things that are kind of against the grain as far as marketing and as far as, just typical beauty stuff. And I think people kind of like it. So this I'm really excited to get this dead stock stuff out of there.
That's a totally innovative idea. I've never heard that in 25 years in packaging. So well done.
Thanks.
Good.
It's gonna be
It's
fun.
there's a lot of relic packaging. There's a lot of stuff just sitting in a warehouse. Hey, what about us? Come on,
Right.
guys.
It's literally destined for a landfill. So if you could give it one more, one last hurrah before before it goes to landfill, like
Or
why
take
not?
it back to a refill. Like our refill store in town, like
Mhm.
she's collecting all sorts of odd ends of containers to refill. So yeah, I mean, you see it, I think, especially even more in beauty, just because, we're, I guess, aesthetic or, very concerned with vanity is the word, right? So much wasted, like usable product, and it's sad.
Oh my gosh. Or have you ever experienced if a product somehow a typo makes it onto the package and then the whole run is done, like
Absolutely. And I've been on press checks where I've seen the mistakes made and, whoops, half of this is bad,
right.
it's an incredible thing. I had a customer print catalogs and they spelled catalog wrong. Yeah, that's a challenge. That's something that you have to recall, and they were able to recover them, which was a huge savings financially and environmentally. But things happen, and this is an opportunity to be a part of the solution. So well done.
Well, I also think that customers out there are a lot more fun than we give them credit for. So, I mean, even for something like that, you could have even slapped a post-it note on it that just said like, "This catalog's for dummies," like people would have thought it was great and fun instead of it just,
Right.
this one didn't get trashed, but I'm saying like in many cases you see stuff where stuff just gets trashed, just goes straight to a dumpster.
Mhm.
And I think that what's so cool about this new generation of shopper is that they have a sense of humor. And I think it's taking a little bit of time for brands to like catch up with the sense of humor. And I see that you're super active on TikTok, and I love the TikTok humor that is out there, just like the way people crack jokes, and it has its own language.
Yeah.
And you see the brands that kind of get it, and you see the brands that just like don't seem to understand that it's not TV advertising.
Very true. This is a different society. People are very, very smart, and the BS meter goes off quickly. I found, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You can't make stuff up. You can't make a claim that isn't backed up. So well done. This is exciting to see. When you guys release those, will you send me a picture of them or send me
Yeah.
some?
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
love to
absolutely.
advertise for you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. We also have these cool bamboo carry cases for the bigger
Oh
bars.
yeah,
And they're really cool. Like they lift out like this, and then
beautiful.
inside, because when you're traveling, you don't want this like, inside is a removable coaster. So you can, when you travel, you can just put it in your shower wherever you are. The only thing is like, and I'm sure you know that just working with natural materials, like this is bamboo, working with natural materials, you have kind of a lot of limitations. So I discovered when I have a square one for the shampoo and a round one for the conditioner, when I brought them to our store, a local store, to just show them and give them like a sneak peek, I couldn't open the round one because the heat, the inside one had expanded and the coaster was stuck. So like Jonathan and I have been spending the past few days soaking another set of these in water to see how the bamboo reacts. Like you have to go through this stuff because plastic is the best. It's so easy to work with.
Right.
But then you get something like bamboo and you're like, oh, well, this ages differently. This box behaves differently if it's in a hot car than it does, or like than it would in Arizona, than it would in Michigan, or you know, so working with natural materials is a challenge. So we were ready to put these boxes out on the market, and then we kind of halted. We just so we can do some, like, we drowned them. We're drying, heating them. I think Jonathan had a set in the oven, and that's like obsession. We try and go through, because there's no perfect world when it comes to natural products, right? Like, or you know, natural components. We're all natural. We're totally a mess. So I don't know why we expected anything else to behave any differently.
It's part of this world that we've jumped into, right? You know, perfection is not the goal. It's, you know, we're looking for, you know, progress. So keep it up.
Yeah. So with these boxes, just when I do order them and when we kind of troubleshoot how to keep them working in wet climates and hot climates all at the same time, you know, we're probably going to put in an extra order for the inside coaster, because eventually bamboo will break, and we're going to, I hate the idea of charging people for a replacement on something that they've already bought, you know what I mean, and expect to work. So I'm all, you know, and that's a weird thing that brands have to learn to just live with. If you're going to use like these natural products or natural, you know, components, you have to be prepared to replace stuff, because they're not gonna last the way plastic does.
Very well said. Very well said. So how do we buy these? Where do we go?
So my favorite way for people to buy them is to go to our store locator on our website on dipalready.com, and then go to the store locator and find a spot that's local to you. And if there's nothing local to you, then order online. The reason I want people to shop in store is because the stores that we support are all independently owned. When you're shopping in these stores, we're okay, it's part of our brand, is that we capture higher margins when we sell direct to consumer online, but we're okay sharing the wealth and the sales revenue with these independent store owners that are really educating people about sustainability in their communities. Like we've started with zero waste stores, and actually we just launched at the end of October, and we're in just under 100 stores as of today. And so there's this chat online that people write to, and if I see that they live near a store, I tell them, I'm like, go buy at XYZ store, it's near you.
Love that partnership. Yeah,
you know what, it's so important to get people in refill stores to see that packaging maybe one day can be the thing of the past, especially for like floor cleaner. You don't need to buy floor cleaner in a precious package, right? In a new time. So I know that the big drivers in these refill stores are like hand soap, laundry detergent, you know, even laundry detergent. I save so much money going into one of these refill stores because I buy their powdered laundry detergent. A mason jar full of it lasts me like 6 months. It's pretty crazy. And I'm in a household with 2 dirty little boys. You know?
3. I was gonna say, including that one.
But there's this idea of going to shop in these small stores. Also, I spend a lot of time on my site educating people about palletized goods and the hidden plastic that happens behind the scenes when you're sending stuff to big box or Amazon. Any sustainable brand that, you know, there's 2 arguments, right? They're saying, okay, but if you have a sustainable brand and it isn't accessible in Target or Walmart, then is it really making a difference? Right? So that's how they justify sending palletized goods over there. But I think that you can honestly have a really nice business and expose people to this new style of refilling and be true to being mostly plastic free if you support small stores. So you can find us in hair salons, which is like so exciting. Hair salons are designed to upsell you products that you buy over and over again. And the fact that these mothers and sisters and like aunts, you know, and there's men hairstylists too, but the fact that they're embracing slow to consume products like dip is like, it's a huge shift in mentality for salons. It's so exciting that they put us on their shelves. Like seriously, dream come true. But then yeah, these small refill stores, I just want people to go there and learn to live without packaging, which is hard to talk about in front of packaging guys.
Well, we appreciate that.
It's inspiring for me. And I was just gonna say, it's more so now focusing on like the systems and like the experiences, like, you know.
Yep.
Anyways, cut you off. It sounds like
No, you're fine. This is your show. Yeah.
No, we love it. I hope that there's some sort of solution about the plastic wraparound pallets. I wonder if there's something you might know better than me. You were just at a convention.
Yeah, there's actually stretch film machines that reduce the amount of plastic on a pallet by 200%. And which is awesome. But there's also a company called Trex that recycles that stuff. And that's becoming very common. And it's exciting. I'm amazed by that. They've recycled over 1 billion pounds of that plastic material.
That's amazing.
In like 7 years. It's a beautiful thing, and people are using it for their decks or their benches or things like that will last 30 years. So to me, that's awesome, right? But we just need to get, you know, companies to recycle that material.
Right. That's the trickiest part, I think.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's starting to pay attention now.
Yeah.
Right. It's not something that's just for, you know, the fringe eco environmentalists anymore. It's for everyone.
I agree. Like Jonathan was saying, it's a system. You have to learn a new system. You know, something that you used to throw in the garbage. Wait a second. Let's divert that over here. Oh, wait, we don't need to use that. We can use this. So we're changing behaviors, which, as we all know, is the most difficult thing to do. But the intentions are positive. We're not doing this just for money. We want to make the world a better place for our kids and their kids, right?
Absolutely. You know, I want my children's children to be able to find seashells. You know, I want them to be able to play. And we live on a little swimming lake that the community keeps very clean and like goes above and beyond. We all volunteer to make sure it stays beautiful. And, you know, there's lots of rules about like, you can't use a lot of fertilizer on your lawn because it goes right in, you know, like everyone has to have like clean septics to make sure it doesn't, and nothing hurts the wildlife. And we're very in touch with that, especially when we're coming up with new ideas and new products.
Love that. Well, thank you guys for being on. I'd like to have you on again, and we'll go over your progress in 6 months if you'd come on again. That'd be great.
Yeah, of course. No, we really enjoyed this, and we're always watching your cool content online.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Landsberg Aurora, for sponsoring this podcast. If you're listening, make sure you subscribe, and so you don't miss the next episode. If you give us a review, let me know you did, and I'll send you some stickers like this. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, us too. Thank you.
Have a good one.